The next match, one fall or 10-minute time limit. First, from Winnipeg, Manitoba, weighing 273 pounds, George Gordienko. His opponent, from Godbout, Quebec, weighing 226 pounds. Here he is, Paul Leduc. Referee Luigi Marcella.
Well, here we are at ringside once again, Jack Curran, along with Paul Vachon, and we've got Paul Leduc, the smaller, and is he younger or older than Joe? I'm not sure. I think he's a little older, isn't he?
Yeah, he's older than Joe. Joe's only in his middle 20s, I believe.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
28 years old, and he's in there, and I don't know Paul's age exactly, but he's in there with a really strong man, George Gordienko from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Incidentally, Jack, this is Grand Prix Wrestling goes into CKMI Channel 5 in Quebec City, and we'd like to say hello to them. And, of course, our French Grand Prix Wrestling television show goes into Channel 4 there. So they're very well served in Quebec City with Grand Prix Wrestling, and we have very good cooperation from both the stations in there, and they're very happy with the show. It has a very high rating, and it's very popular. And naturally, it shows at the gate, too, at the Coliseum in Quebec City.
Well, speaking of television stations where Grand Prix Wrestling is featured, we're happy about our association with CITY, or City Television in Toronto. They have been making a lot of the national magazines lately with their movies, and the way I hear it, Grand Prix Wrestling and their very popular movies are very, very close in the ratings in Toronto, Channel 79. And the Queen City has been set back on its ear by CITY, Channel 79 in Toronto, and we're happy to be part of a very successful new venture in the Queen City.
Yes, sir, and of course, we can't mention all the cities in this program where Grand Prix Wrestling goes, but one that we haven't mentioned in a while is City TV, of course, and WCAX Channel 3 television in Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah, our friends in the northern New England part of the United States are very big wrestling fans, and Grand Prix wrestlers are very, very popular in the Burlington area, in Barrie and various places where you wrestle on a pretty regular basis right now, as a matter of fact.
Yes, we have wrestling in Barrie, and Burlington, St. Johnsbury, Newport, Rutland, and pretty soon we'll be promoting matches in New York State. We recently made an agreement with the New York City promoter Vince McMahon, and jointly with him, Grand Prix Wrestling is going to promote some wrestling matches in New York State.
Well, there's a headlock by, I keep wanting to say Paul Vachon. You're sitting right here with me. I know that happens to you enough where they mistake you for Joe Leduc.
Yes, well, Joe Leduc I can understand.
Not Paul.
No.
No.
He's not quite muscular enough.
Paul Leduc and Gordienko, he had a headlock on Gordienko, and Gordienko finally managed to lift him up in the air, break the headlock, and just sort of throw him away. Now, Gordienko, according to you, Paul, I don't think he even knows his own strength. He's a powerful man.
Yes, very, very powerful, because he's built big everywhere. You know, he's got big legs, big arms, and a big neck, and he's just a great big fella from Winnipeg. And the first time I met him was in Paris, and I wrestled with him at the Palais des Sports in Paris. And I was never so impressed by anybody as I was by George Gordienko. That's when you really find that.
Oh, did you see that?
Yes, a flying headbutt there by or was it a shoulder block?
A flying shoulder, but the thing was that Gordienko was coming off the ropes, and Gordienko is a pretty solid wall to run into under the best of conditions, but you know, little Paul managed to get him down with that move.
No, I was saying, Jack, that a lot of people can tell you all kinds of things about a wrestler, but if you really want to find out what kind of wrestler he is, you get in the ring with him and wrestle him. And, of course, my 18 years I was a professional wrestler. I wrestled with quite a few of them. And that's why I know the value of a wrestler, because I've actually wrestled with some of them, and George Gordienko was one of them. At the time, he was the European champion. and I was Canadian champion, and there was a tournament in Paris, and we wound up in the finals. It just so happened that the two Canadians were in the main event in the finals of the Palais des Sports. There was 15,000 people, I think, which was pretty good for Paris.
Well, you must have been the favorite then, with a name like Vachon in Paris.
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, in Paris they like the French Canadians pretty well. Beautiful takedown off the rope there by Paul Leduc.
There's been a lot of famous wrestlers come out of France. We've had quite a few of them right here on Grand Prix Wrestling, notably, of course, Edouard Carpentier and the giant Jean Ferret. But isn't Frank Valois originally French?
No.
No, he's not?
Well, originally, I mean, he's a French-Canadian. He's from
oh, I thought he originated in France.
But his biggest success he had in Europe. For the longest time, he was European champion, and he was more popular in Europe than in his native city of Montreal.
Didn't they call him the Paris strongman at one time?
I don't think that was him.
Maybe I've got him mixed up with someone else.
In Paris, they call him the Canadian. That's how they call him.
Okay. Well, at the moment, Paul Leduc is in some difficulty, hanging on the top and middle rope, but Luigi Marchera manages to get Gordienko away from him long enough to let him come back in. And look at the tremendous power and pressure that Gordienko applies when he gets that shoulder into the midsection. Watch this. He just lifts little Paul right up off his feet. I keep saying little Paul, and I guess I shouldn't, because he weighs well over 225, in the 230s somewhere. But I don't know, there's just something that suggests smallness about him.
Well, I think he gave
What's
a
he
pretty...
doing now? He's taking his belt off. Oh, boy.
That's not... He shouldn't do that.
Well, isn't that illegal right there?
Oh,
with the belt?
definitely. And I think the referee is being lenient right now. He should have disqualified
Gordienko's got the belt around Paul's neck at the moment and is choking him, and the bell goes. Let's see what Luigi Marchera manages to sort out of this, whether he awards the bout to either one of them or whether he calls it no contest. Let's see what he does.
Well, of course, he's using the belt, but it's Leduc that took it off his pants, and he really initiated this sort of tactics, and he got disqualified, and George Gordienko got disqualified using Paul Leduc's belt, and then naturally